Let me ask you something that's going to sound completely backwards. What if the smartest financial move you could make right now, regardless of your income, regardless of your net worth, regardless of where you're starting from, was to look like you have less than you do? Not fake it, not lie about it, not pretend to be struggling. Just stop performing. Stop broadcasting. Stop signaling. Stop buying things whose entire purpose is to make other people think a certain way about you. Because here's what the data actually shows. Here's what the research on millionaires, real millionaires, not Instagram millionaires, consistently reveals. The people quietly building the most wealth are almost never the ones who look like it. The flashy lifestyle and the fat portfolio almost never coexist in the same person. You usually get one or the other. And the people choosing the portfolio? They've figured something out early that most people spend their entire lives missing. Looking broke, strategically, deliberately, unapologetically, is one of the most powerful wealth-building moves available to anyone at any income level. Today, I'm going to show you exactly why. And by the end of this, you're going to look at every luxury car, every designer outfit, and every flexed vacation completely differently. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about the lie. From the moment you were old enough to pay attention, you were handed a very specific definition of success. It had a look, a specific, visual, unmistakable look. Nice car, big house, designer clothes, latest phone, expensive watch, premium everything. That definition wasn't accidental. It was constructed carefully, deliberately, by industries whose entire business model depends on you equating visible consumption with personal achievement. The luxury car industry needs you to believe the car reflects your worth. The fashion industry needs you to believe the outfit signals your status. The travel industry needs you to believe the vacation proves your success. Social media perfected the delivery system, putting the highlight reel of everyone's most expensive moments directly in your pocket, available for comparison 24 hours a day. And it worked spectacularly. The average American now spends more than they earn. Consumer debt sits at record highs. Retirement savings sit at record lows. People with six-figure incomes describe themselves as living paycheck to paycheck because every income increase gets immediately absorbed by an upgraded lifestyle designed to match the image. We have an entire generation performing wealth for an audience of strangers, going broke in the process, while the people who quietly opted out of the performance are steadily, silently building something real. The first step to winning this game is recognizing you've been playing the wrong one. Thomas Stanley spent decades studying American millionaires, not the ones on television, not the ones with verified Instagram accounts, the real ones. People with genuine, substantial net worth living among regular people in regular neighborhoods. What he found shattered every assumption. The majority of millionaires in America drive used or moderately priced cars. They live in houses well below what their income could support. They wear ordinary clothes. They don't announce themselves. They don't perform. They are, to the outside world, completely indistinguishable from their middle-class neighbors. But their balance sheets tell a completely different story. While the neighbor in the impressive car is financing depreciating metal over 72 months, the quiet millionaire next door is deploying that same monthly payment into assets that compound. While the coworker upgrades their wardrobe every season to maintain the image, the understated wealth builder is watching their investment account grow in complete silence. Real wealth is not a lifestyle. Real wealth is a number on a balance sheet that nobody can see, and that grows precisely because nobody can see it. The most honest definition of financial success isn't what you can afford to buy. It's what you no longer feel any pressure to buy. It's the complete absence of needing external validation through consumption. That quiet, that stillness, that freedom from the performance, that is what wealthy actually feels like from the inside. Now let's get into the behavioral science behind why this works, because this isn't just philosophy. There is real psychology operating here. When you visibly display wealth,
You trigger a set of social and psychological dynamics that work directly against your financial well-being. The first is target behavior. Visible affluence makes you a target for opportunists, for financial requests, for scams, for people who want to attach themselves to your resources. The moment people know you have money, they begin relating to you through that lens. Every interaction carries a subtle financial dimension. The second is social ratcheting. Once you establish a visible standard of living, your social environment locks you into maintaining it. Your peer group recalibrates their expectations of you upward. Downgrading becomes socially uncomfortable, almost shameful. You get trapped at a spending level you may not be able to sustain simply because you signaled it once. The third, and this is the one behavioral economists find most fascinating, is what happens to your own psychology when you stop performing. Research shows that people who detach their identity from consumption experience significantly lower financial anxiety, make more rational long-term financial decisions, and report higher overall life satisfaction, even at lower spending levels. When you're not running the performance, you stop making decisions from ego and start making them from genuine values. You buy things because you actually want them, not because they communicate something to someone else. That shift alone changes your entire spending pattern. The performance is expensive. Authenticity is remarkably cheap.
Here's a dimension of this that almost nobody talks about, and it might be the most personally significant one. Visible wealth fundamentally changes your relationships, and not in the ways you'd hope. When people know you have money, or believe you do, they stop relating to you purely as a person. Financial awareness enters every interaction. Family members approach you with requests they'd never make otherwise. Friends unconsciously keep score of who pays for what. People you barely know develop opinions about what you should do with resources you earned. You become, without ever consenting to it, the financial solution to other people's problems. The quietly wealthy experience something completely different because nobody knows what they have. Nobody treats them based on what they have. Their relationships stay clean. Their friendships stay genuine. Their family dynamics stay uncomplicated by the distorting gravity of visible money. And their children, this is crucial, their children develop something that visible wealth almost always destroys: genuine internal drive. Kids who grow up seeing obvious wealth internalize it as the baseline. The safety net is visible, the cushion is assumed. The urgency to build their own foundation never really develops because the foundation already appears to exist. Kids who grow up in a household where financial success is invisible, where the parents appear ordinary but operate from genuine security, those kids develop self-reliance. They build ambition. They hustle because the cushion isn't visible. The invisible wealthy don't just protect their own financial position. They protect their children's psychological development. That is a generational advantage that compounds in ways no investment calculator can fully measure. Here's what I want you to take from this today. The wealthiest people in your life probably don't look like it. They're driving sensible cars, living in reasonable homes, wearing ordinary clothes, and watching their net worth climb in complete silence, while everyone around them performs success for an audience that isn't actually watching. They figured out something that takes most people decades to understand. The goal was never to look successful. The goal was always to be free. Free from the paycheck-to-paycheck anxiety. Free from the job you can't leave because you need every dollar. Free from the financial fragility hiding behind an expensive lifestyle. Free to make decisions based on what you actually want, not what you can afford to keep pretending. Every dollar you don't spend on the performance is a dollar building that freedom. Every month you resist the upgrade is a month the compound interest works harder for you. Every year you fly under the radar is a year your invisible wealth grows more powerful. Looking broke is not a limitation. It is a choice.
And for the people who make it deliberately and consistently, it is the choice that eventually buys them everything. Keep it quiet, keep it growing. That's the whole strategy. If this reframed something for you today, share it with one person who needs to hear it, and drop a comment below. I want to know, what's the one thing you've been buying for the performance that you're ready to let go? See you in the next one.